I was fascinated by your column today and what you wrote about the overtime rule. And what do you think has a chance of passing once it's placed in front of the membership tomorrow, Peter?
I think it's a pretty big mystery, Rich. But I think those, I talked to one top team executive who thought it was going to pass easily. But and the rule, obviously, that we're talking about is each team getting one possession in overtime minimum. And if after the second possession the game is tied, then starting with the third possession, it's sudden death. And so the NFL, I think most of the people on the competition committee are in favor of the rule being changed to that, so that both teams would get a possession in overtime or be guaranteed a possession, because in the 10 years since the overtime rule has been enacted, essentially what has happened is there have been 12 games in the playoffs that have gone to overtime. And in 10 of those games, the team that won the coin toss to start the overtime has won the game. 7 of those 10 games were won on the first possession of overtime. So in 7 of those 12 games, the other team, the coin toss loser, never saw the ball. And so, Rich, but I think what is happening here is that overtime. And look, I've been, covering the league since the 80s, and usually what you find is that it's not very easy to get 24 owners to agree on anything. It's not quite the current House of Representatives or the Senate with the Republican-Democrat divide, but there's a little bit of that in here, that people need to be bashed over the head to change a rule. So I'm not sure that there are 24 right now. And the two things that make me a little bit hesitant, number one, Roger Goodell has not stated his preference for this rule. He's kind of holding his cards close to the vest, hasn't said what he favors right now. Usually when he tries to push through a rule, it gets pushed through. And number two, I also think there are people who say, hey, look, it's not been a horrible issue in all games, including regular season games. It's only been bad in the playoffs. So why would we change a rule that really has not been terrible during the regular season, but just has been one-sided in the playoffs? And that's why my belief is that owners will do one of two things. They will either vote to change the rule for all games so that, in the regular season and postseason, the rule will be changed so that both teams will get one possession, or they will withdraw if they don't think they have the votes, the 24 votes to win that, they'll withdraw and they'll basically say, okay, let's attempt this year just to do it for the postseason, and then maybe try to do it again in the future. So that's kind of the way I see it going.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.